If you're blocked, let me show you a few things you can try to get back to being creative.
To start, go take a shower.
I feel like this needs a little more context. Let's get into it. There's two kinds of bored. There's good bored and bad bored. Now, good bored is a kind of bored where things aren't exactly exciting, but nothing's happening. I'll explain why this is good in a second. Bad bored is doom scrolling, essentially.
Now, I can't really get on a high horse when it comes to scrolling on your phone, because every week I get this little notification saying I spend about 4 hours a day on my phone.
If I wrote for 4 hours a day, I'd have like 3 novels already.
Anyway, that's not the point. The point is that doom scrolling, while entertaining, doesn't help unblock your creativity. So what does?
Well, being good bored does. On any given creative project, 90% of it is thinking about it, and the other 10% is working on it. For example, you will never be able to write that one scene with your 2 original characters until you reach this flow state where you can picture them clearly in your mind in a specific time, in a specific place, and let them loose. That counts as working on your novel. If you can't do that exercise, then sitting in front of the computer to write will only convince you that you're out of good ideas and that you're not good at this, and you'll quit before you even start it. So let's get bored. The following tips might help you achieve what I call good bored. The kind of bored that allows you to just think of what you want to do and who you want to be. Because remember, thinking about it is 90% of the job.
I've spent years chasing the high of falling into a trance-like state where ideas just flow, where I can see and talk to the characters in my graphic novel, or where I can literally hear a new song in my head before I write it.
I used to think it just happened until I discovered how to trigger it. And I'll tell you the secret right now before we even go into the list. The secret is to keep your hands busy while doing a task you can do automatically, like washing the dishes, which is incidentally number 1. Wash the dishes. The most energy intensive thing about washing the dishes is getting off the couch to wash the dishes. It's an incredibly mindless task that keeps your hands busy and your mind is free to wander. Bonus points if you have like a pile of dishes to go through.
Clean the kitchen, clean the oven, clean your fridge, clean the bathroom while you're at it. These things prevent your hands from reaching for anything with a screen, helping you get back into that flow state.
I like to do this with my headphones on, so when an idea pops into my head for like a TikTok skit or a YouTube video, I can just be like, hey Siri, set a reminder for this thing. And half the time, she almost gets it right. It's wonderful!
Number 2, take a shower.
There's a reason they're called shower thoughts. Shower thoughts are just your mind wandering off and being like a kid in a candy store with whatever disorganized, colorful thoughts you have laying about in your head. Just going from one subject to the next going, what's this? It's easy to get into a flow state when you're in the shower. Already took one? Take another one, a nice hot shower. Stare at the crack between the tiles, the one that looks like a Shiba Inu. Go nuts!
Number 3, take a walk, but leave your phone at home.
I know it's not doable for security reasons, but if you are able to, leave your phone at home.
If you can't, set it to do not disturb. Keep your hands occupied. Walk the dog. Walk 2 dogs. Walk with handcuffs. I don't know. Walk with a Chinese finger trap. But walking will get your dopamine going, and that stimulates the flow state.
A huge part of what helps with creativity is the sort of input you're receiving. If all the input you're getting comes from one source, like social media, then the output is going to resemble that.
But taking a walk and keeping your eyes on what's happening around you will surprise you. You'll see a cute baby, or a dog might walk past you wanting pets, or you can even fall ass backwards into a meet cute.
In 2024? Yeah, unlikely. But still, maybe?
Number 4, play with your pet.
Apparently a big way to show your pet that you love them is through eye contact. So by that logic, if you're looking into your pet's eyes, you're not looking at your phone.
Tossing a ball around or playing tug is a wonderful way to do something automatic with your hands while preventing the sort of distraction that will derail you. Besides, they're always down for a game of fetch, so it's a no-brainer really. Number 5. Go to a museum.
Or an expo, or a gallery. Not the theater or the movies. Your brain needs to be engaged for those.
But staring at paintings and sculptures does something to your brain. It's no wonder why the human race has been making these non-stop since we discovered we could finger paint on walls. A trip to the local museum will enrich that input thing we were talking about earlier. Different sorts of input change the quality of what you can produce.
If you don't live in a city with museum choices, go hiking. Nature is putting on a show for you right now. Google what's good in your area, get in your car, and change your scenery for a few hours.
Number 6. Fold your laundry.
In the same vein as washing the dishes, folding your laundry will occupy your hands and leave your mind free to wander. And hey, maybe you'll discover the chair that's buried underneath.
Number 7. Phone a friend. There's this technique we used to do when I was a programmer, where you would explain your coding problem to a rubber duck. This was called debug ducking.
No joke, it works every time. Whenever you're explaining the problem out loud and in detail to somebody that doesn't have the full context, you'll start uncovering things that you weren't aware were even there.
So what do I mean by this? If you're blocked on your novel or your app or your song, call a friend, someone you trust, get their input on it. Explaining what the problem is and talking it out will help you see the light at the end of the tunnel. Hey, maybe it'll even help you find the tunnel for those of you who are completely lost. Number 8. Nothing.
Yeah, screw it. Sometimes boredom is just boredom. Sometimes there's nothing to do and you're just not feeling it. Sometimes your body is just jelly and you need to take a break.
A break without guilt. It doesn't count if you're feeling bad about it. On those days, you just do something you enjoy doing. Doom scrolling, maybe, okay, sure, fine. Or read a book, or play a video game, or check out that new cafe in the corner, or call your mom, or text that one friend you haven't seen in a while.
They'd love to hang out, believe me. No, they're not angry you forgot to reply weeks ago. Quote me on that. Tell them I sent you.
Now, this is not a comprehensive list, obviously. There are a million activities out there that help put your brain in automatic mode.
So homework for tomorrow is you go wash the dishes and think about what these other activities might be for your particular case. They're going to be different for your life, your habits, your experiences. But if you ever want to get into the flow, this is how you trigger it. Get your hands busy on something you can do mindlessly.
It's two things, so keep that in mind. You have to keep your hands busy, and it's got to be something you can do automatically, so your mind isn't engaged in the task and is left free to roam the colorful backrooms you have in your head where all your abandoned projects live. These projects, they're not angry at you. They're patiently waiting for you to figure out how to pick them back up. That's all.
So think about this and write the results afterwards. I'll never stop recommending that you write everything down by hand. It improves retention and slows your brain down, which is exactly what you need to make progress.
I would like to hear down in the comments the sort of activities you do to get your brain into this flow state.